Hello, Dawgpound South campers. This is the Cleveland Browns Dawgpound South podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. I'm your host, Steve Gill. Listening to a little of the Cleveland media this morning has me fully convinced that they are desperate for dysfunction. Look, I know you gotta look at this game yesterday and say the special teams completely failed. Bubba Ventrone may be on his way out. If you're going to fire anybody, that's where I'd start. He has been on a decline, and this year you have Tony, Kadarius Tony, who at this point in his career is just nothing but a return specialist. Did you see him returning anything? Was he back there at any time? He ran one end around for a minus, 8 yards? And that was it. That was his only touch. Whose call is it to have him on the roster and not returning punts? I would wager to guess it's Bubba Ventrone. And I like Bubba Ventrone, but come on, these special teams, they're giving up kickoff returns and punt returns, and the guy doesn't step out of bounds. That's another touchdown. So I just can't. I can't live with Bubba Ventrone on the coaching staff. I still think Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry are safe, and I would not get rid of them. I know everybody's looking at the future schedule, and there may be not another victory on there. You might be able to beat Miami, and you might catch the Ravens in the last game in Baltimore, resting all their starters. So, two possibly. I mean, the offense, Jameis Winston looked like Joe Flacco minus the interceptions. How do you throw for over 300 yards and only get 14 points? Well, I'll tell you how. You don't have a running game. And this was the team to fix the running game. I mean, you go into the fourth quarter, it's tied 14-14. Okay? It's tied 14-14. You've got to run the ball. And on defense, these chunk plays, giving up these big chunk plays. I know what they're going to have to do. They've got to get, Rodney McLeod's going to retire. Goodbye, Juan Thornhill. You're gone. Delpit is the only safety I would keep, not even Ronnie Hickman. He is just a liability when he has to play a lot. You're going to have to, in free agency and the draft, you're going to have to pick up some safeties. You're going to have to pick up some offensive line. DeJuan Jones is going to have surgery on his ankle. So that means he's done for this year. He might be done for next year too. So you're going to have to get tackles. I think they've got the guard to replace Bentonio and Zach Zinner. I know he didn't look good when he first came in, but he's coming off a broken leg, so his lower body strength isn't up to NFL standards yet. Give him some time. Give him an off season. They've got Javon Cohen, highly touted undrafted rookie free agent. So they got Luke Whippler if he comes back from the injury. So you can field a good guard center combination. You got to find something in tackle. Jack Conklin will play, and he still can play, and he's still good. Can you squeeze another year out of him? But you got to solve this left tackle problem. Hopefully, DeJuan Jones comes back. You draft somebody, you sign somebody, you fix it that way. And right now, the only person I would trust fixing it would Andrew Berry. I know a lot of people are pointing to the players on the field, but they're also crying about DeJuan Jones, somebody he drafted. He's the only one that can fix this team and keep it competitive with Deshaun Watson on the payroll. So I trust him to do it. I trust Kevin Stefanski come back, but he's going to have to get rid of some assistants. And first one gone's got to be Bubba Ventrone. Let's take a break. All right. What else happened? Denzel Ward, hell of a game yesterday. I have no problem with Denzel Ward. Apparently, Miles Garrett had a calf injury. He's got bad feet to begin with. David Njoku played well. Wow, Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy had a hell of a game, as did Elijah Moore. I want to see more Elijah Moore. I want to see more Jerry Jeudy. I want to see Kadarius Toney returning punts. So, um, how do you how do you get over 300 passing yards? You only scored 14 points. Only the Browns. I knew things were going bad when they gave up that first touchdown because that's the first time they've given up any score on the opening drive this year. Last year, it seemed like they did it every game. How do you not take account for Taysom Hill? Do you not remember 2 years ago in Cleveland what he did to you? I mean, my God, the guy is like, he has over 11 passing touch. What is it? 11 rushing touchdowns, 11 receiving touchdowns, and over 30 passing touchdowns. The only other player the last player to do that was Frank Gifford. Now think about that. Yes, they did a pretty good job on Alvin Kamara, but you have to account for Taysom Hill. I wrote that in my article, my preview article. You got to cover both. You have to cover both. You take those guys away, and you have a potential to beat this team. But again, chunks, running plays, returns, long pass plays killed the Cleveland Browns defense. And they were playing well for 3 quarters. It's just the fourth quarter, it looked like, well, we're done. So now we have to get ready for a Thursday night game. The Browns have to get ready for a Thursday night game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I assume there's going to be more Steeler fans in the stadium than Browns fans. Just going by years past when the Browns weren't any good and people had an opportunity to sell their tickets. You know, I can't tell you what to do with your tickets. I wish there would be more Browns fans than Steeler fans. I don't want to see those stupid ass towels. But on national TV, a lot of media are speculating that Kevin Stefanski, if he loses this game, will be out before the weekend. A lot of people are hyping Mike Vrabel. That's another thing. At the beginning of the season, Mike Vrabel told the media that he wouldn't be on the sidelines during the game. And I've seen him just about every game on the sidelines. And he was there again this time. So a lot of media members are saying, well, you got somebody in house, could be the next head coach. No. His last year before getting fired at Tennessee, he was 0-7. I think the year before he was 6-11. He's 0-2 versus Kevin Stefanski. He's never developed a young quarterback. He got run out of town because he thought he could bully the new GM, Rand Cawthorn, and get more control in picking players. And you're not going to do that in today's NFL. Coaches don't pick their own players anymore. It just doesn't happen. Last guy who did that in Cleveland was Butch Davis. And how did that turn out? So, no, I do not want Mike Vrabel as the next head coach of the Cleveland Browns. I may be in the minority, but living here in Nashville, I've seen what he can do. I've seen his attitude. It would be kind of like almost like Freddie Kitchens, a little better than Freddie Kitchens. He might win 8 games. And you know, if you guys are good with 8-9 or 9-8, and Mike Vrabel, more power to you. I have higher expectations and hope for this team than that. Possibly every once in a while a 10-win team. No, that's like James Franklin at my alma mater, Vanderbilt. You know, he was never going to finish first in the SEC East, but he was always going to get you about 7, 8, 9 games, which made it good for bowl games. But you know, now look at him in Penn State. So, just give it time. Let's see what happens. That, like I said, there's a potential for 2 more wins. Maybe they might surprise. I have no problem with Jameis Winston. All of a sudden, our wide receivers are a lot better than they were in the beginning of the year. You notice that these guys are playing well. They've got to fix this. They've got to get younger on the offensive line. They've got to get younger on the defensive line, and they got to get safety help. That's what's going to happen for next year, and it all starts at the beginning of the league year, not at the draft. It starts at free agency, and this team still has a lot of young, good talent. They just need to fix some of the aging pieces, like safety, like offensive line. You got to get some defensive line. They have the opportunity right now to draft a companion on the other side of the defensive line for Myles Garrett, a young guy who can be strong at the pass rush. This draft is very, very good at tackle and some at guard and also at pass rushers. So they can find themselves a pass rusher in this draft, if not in free agency. I'm not giving up the hope that this team can win a couple more games. I'm not giving up the hope that Jimmy Haslam and D. Haslam will do something stupid and fire Kevin Stefanski and or Andrew Berry. I hope they don't. So hang in there. Got a Thursday night game. It's Steelers week, abbreviated. So everybody have a great day and go Browns. And thank you for watching, listening, subscribing, and following us here at the Fanatical Elves Network. This has been the Cleveland Browns Dawgpound podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. Everybody have a great day and go Browns.